So we have looked at the underdogs, the tactical juggernaut of Japan, and the passing networks of South Korea. But the 2026 World Cup scout report isn't complete without looking at the other tactical extreme of the AFC. Hey guys, welcome back to Asian Football Lab for the finale of my Scout Report Asia edition. Today we are looking at the three teams that bring completely different philosophies to North America. We have the brutal aerial dominance of Australia, my home country, the aggressive high line of Saudi Arabia, and finally we have the back-to-back Asian champions, Qatar. Alright, let's break down the data and the tactics of the final Asian heavyweights heading to the World Cup. Let's start with the Green Falcons. If you follow the qualifiers, you know Saudi Arabia went through absolute chaos. Roberto Mancini was brought in, but he was struggled, and then late 2024, the Saudi Federation brought Hervé Renard back as manager to help them qualify. Now, if you remember what Saudi Arabia did in Argentina back in 2022, you know exactly what's coming. Under Renard, Saudi play a very aggressive and high defensive line. The Saudi Pro League brought in Ronaldo, Neymar, and Benzema last few years, which means these domestic Saudi players are defending against the world-class superstar in training every single day. Defensively, keep your eyes on Saud Abdulhamid. He's one of the rare Saudi players that are actually thriving in Europe right now. And his pace from the right back position is crucial for Saudi for their transition speed. Also, to press this high, they require immense bravery and incredible communication from the centre-back like Hassan Tabakti. Offensively, the massive influx of foreign superstars into the Saudi Pro League has actually elevated the domestic players. Now let's have a look at their two key players up front. Salem Al-Dawsari remains their talisman.
Minutes later, Saudi Arabia coming back the other way. Ball inside to Al-Brikan. Now Al-Dawsari. And helped over the line.
And capable of producing absolutely magic out of nothing. Then for the number 9, they have Faraz Buraikan, who is an elite and clinical finisher.
Challenge with that effort by Pies. They're going to put the rebound in. They are. Faraz Al-Buraikan with a fantastic rebound to make it 3-1.
And just when you think you know how they're going to play, you will be holding your head like me. In one of the most chaotic moves in modern football history, the Saudi Federation, after brought Hervé Renard back to get them qualified, sacked him again in late April and appointed Georges Donetsk as their new manager. Changing your manager 2 months before the World Cup is an insane gamble. Donetsk has virtually no time to prepare. Saudi Arabia is either going to be the most unpredictable, lethal counter-attacking wildcard in this World Cup, or this tactical shift will cause them to collapse completely. Alright, now let's talk about my home country, Australia. A little bit similar to Saudi Arabia, the Socceroos made a massive mid-campaign change. So Graham Arnold stepped out in September 2024 and Tony Popovic was put in charge. Under Popovic, Australia play a robust 4-3-3, but sometimes more like 5-2-3 system. Australia doesn't care about playing beautiful football, and that could be a bit frustrating for me to watch sometimes. Against technically superior sides like Japan and Saudi Arabia, the Socceroos averaged barely 30% possession. They used a compact mid-block, relying heavily on the work rate of the midfield engine, our captain Jackson Irvine. Popovic actually played the double pivot in the middle, forcing the opponents to pass the ball out wide and play on the wings. And that's where we are good at. Australia will let the other team play the crosses in because they have an overwhelming aerial advantage. When you have a 6'6" centre-back like Harry Souttar in the box, every single cross, corner kick or the free kick from the other team, he will clear absolutely everything. The Socceroos will absorb pressure with a highly organised back five, and when they win the ball back, they will try to give it to Craig Goodwin, a 34-year-old veteran who recently moved back to Australia and played for Adelaide United. But do not let the domestic league fool you. His left foot still works a wonder.
All ends up, and Adelaide United's all-time leading goal scorer sends the local fans into a frenzy with a fantastic clean strike.
Now, to be honest, as much as I love to support Australia, but I don't think we will go too far in this World Cup with the squad that we have, but we definitely got to be an ultimate disruptor. Finally, we have the reigning back-to-back Asian champions, Qatar. After a disastrous 2022 World Cup on home soil, Qatar completely rebuilt their tactical identity under Spanish manager Tintin Marquez Lopez and won the 2023 Asian Cup. But then they did something drastic in May 2025. They hired the former Spain and Real Madrid manager, Julen Lopetegui. Under Lopetegui, Qatar is no longer the nervous, reactive side from 4 years ago. They survived the brutal qualification campaign, officially booked their ticket in October 2025 by beating the UAE 2-1 in a massive high-tension clash. Now let's have a look at some of their key players. They usually play out from the back. That's why they rely heavily on the two ball-playing defender, Lucas Mendes and Bualam Kuki. But the entire system actually built around one man, Akram Afif. Afif is arguably the best player in Asia currently playing outside of Europe. Whether he operates on the wings or as a central playmaker, everything flows through him. He can create chances out of nothing. And it helps when he has a very good connection with the striker Almoz Ali. I would say if any of the opponents give Afif less space between the midfield and the defensive line, he's going to create trouble for them.
5 minutes to go before the half-time whistle. Another ball in from Afif, and again, it's Almoz Ali.
Iran, Australia, Japan, Saudi Arabia, South Korea, Qatar, Uzbekistan, Jordan, and Iraq. The 9 teams represent AFCs are coming to the World Cup with extreme tactical diversity. And I'm super excited to see how far Japan, South Korea, and Iran can go in this tournament. So that wraps up my Asia Asian Scout report for 2026 World Cup. I hope you enjoyed the series. This small channel is still growing and your support means the world to me. So please subscribe, like, and share this video to help me keep the analysis coming. I'll see you in the next one.
pain.